This morning, the Port of Baltimore's shipping channel is fully operational. It was 11 weeks ago that the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed, killing 6 people. Nearly 50,000 tons of wreckage had to be removed from the river so the critical U.S. trade port could resume operations. This is what some port workers had to say about this.
I'm glad we're back to work, and I hope it gets better. Hope more ships come in.
The state took care of us, we were okay, but other than that, I'd rather go to work.
Kind of wish the bridge was being built a lot sooner, coming through the tunnel's a little tough. That has changed too, because we have to leave like an hour early.
All right, with us now is Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who is in Baltimore. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much for being with us. What difference will this now make, and what have you learned over the last 11 weeks?
Well, what happened that morning was horrific, but what happened next was inspiring. So in terms of what we've learned, I think the biggest thing has been about the power of teamwork. I asked our team to count up the number of agencies involved. We think it was 56. 56 different entities, from our department to the U.S. Coast Guard and the Army Corps of Engineers, the state DOT under the leadership of Governor Wes Moore, county, city, all of the first responders, from the divers looking for victims to the people making sure that traffic was handled and managed safely, all adding up to this moment where less than 100 days after that shocking event, more than 50,000 tons of concrete and steel have been cleared out of the Patapsco River. The channel is open, the port is up and running, those workers are working. Now, obviously, we've got a long way to go in terms of part 2, which is getting a new bridge up to replace the Francis Scott Key Bridge that was destroyed. And more of the focus is going to now turn to that, although we've been working on that from day one as well. Already got $60 million out to the state. But again, my big lesson, my big takeaway here is the power of teamwork. I have never seen this many different organizations, agencies, responders come together since I've had this job to deal with a crisis touching our transportation systems. And it's what people expect from government, that when something terrible happens, those agencies snap into action, team up, and get results.
You talked about the bridge. Do you have any estimate on when there may be a new bridge?
So the original one took about 5 years to build. We're hoping we can beat that this time around, but obviously a lot goes into building a bridge, and it's going to look different. The design that went in the 70s is not the same as the right answer for a bridge that's going to be standing hopefully well into the 2070s. But we're already underway on that. We released $60 million to help get that process going. We're side by side with Maryland DOT in their work. They're already engaging in the procurement, the design. They estimate it'll take about $1.7 to $1.9 billion to get that new bridge in place. But when it is there, it'll be not just a new part of the Baltimore skyline, but an important link for supply chains and for commuters.
So you are not a member of the president's family, although he has said you remind him of his son, Beau. I'm wondering what you think it must be like for the president now that his other son, Hunter Biden, has been convicted on federal gun charges, as both a president on his way to Europe for key meetings and also as a father.
Well, I think anybody should imagine, what would I do? And one of many things I admire about my boss is that it is so clear how much love he has for his family. And that's not just something that obviously as a human being you see and feel in terms of how much he cares about his loved ones, but also as a boss, it is a tone that he has set across the administration that he expects everybody who reports to him to take good care of their families. He made clear on day one there's a standing policy that if any of us needs to take care of a family matter, we go look after that, no questions asked, and balance that with the responsibilities that we all have.
Just so you know, Secretary, we're looking at live pictures from Delaware right now where President Biden is arriving. He'll get on Marine One, head to Andrews, and then head to Europe for meetings. Again, we're looking at live pictures of that right now. It does not appear as if the president will comment before arriving at Andrews, and we don't know if he'll comment there. I want to ask you very quickly about another subject, too. There was a secret recording made at a meeting where many Supreme Court justices and their spouses were. And Martha Ann Alito, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, was discussing how she feels about apparently a pride flag that was flown not far from her house. Listen.
I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag because I have to look across the lagoon at the pride flag for the next month.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, please don't put up a flag. I said, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up and I'm going to send them a message every day.
How does that make you feel knowing that the wife of a Supreme Court justice wants to send a message to people with a pride flag?
Look, I'm often reminded that the most important thing in my life, which is my marriage and my family and the two beautiful children that my husband Chasten and I are raising, that marriage only exists by the grace of a single vote on the United States Supreme Court that expanded our rights and freedoms back in 2015 and made it possible for somebody like me to get married. And, Supreme Court justices have an unbelievable amount of power. And by the nature and the structure of the Supreme Court, there's no supervision over that power. They are entrusted with it literally for as long as they live. And part of that trust is we expect them to enter into those enormously consequential decisions that shape our everyday lives with a sense of fairness. I also hope that most Americans can understand the difference between a flag that symbolizes, love and acceptance and signals to people who have sometimes feared for their safety that they're going to be okay, and insurrectionist symbology. And I'll just leave it at that.
Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Appreciate it.